Hello everyone, this is the Crimson Cure, welcoming you to the Crimson Tower, a place where we keep a feminine foot on the neck of the gynocracy, feminism, and black male misandry. So go ahead, pull up a chair, stay a while, and listen.
Hey y'all, Donnie Keith here, aka Auntie Peaches from the Aunties Radio Show, also on The Voice of Reason. I'm here to say that ever since my man started taking A game, he's been on top of his A game. What? When I say A game, I mean his A game. He's more focused. He's definitely working out more. His attitude is better. And he's not complaining of all over body aches due to poor blood circulation, because A-Game provides great blood circulation, if you know what I mean, ladies. That blood circulation. Sometimes I have to hide the A-Game in the bushes when I'm out walking the dog just because I want some sleep, if you know what I mean, ladies. Stay on top of your A-Game, fellas. Get your A-Game.
Hey there, Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I am your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So what are we talking about today? Today we are talking about Sha'Carri Richardson testing positive for THC, which is of course marijuana, and basically eliminating her chances for competing in the upcoming Olympics in track and field. Okay. Now her signature race is the 100 meter dash. And I must say, she is a very, very talented athlete. I mean, she be gone on that track. And she has drawn comparisons between herself and FloJo, mainly not only because of her speed on the track, but also her different color hair and stuff like that. And if you remember who FloJo was, you know, FloJo had the long, super long nails and the long hair and the one leg up, one leg down tracksuit. And, you know, so she had a style of her own and all of these sorts of things. But the young lady, Sha'Carri, has basically self-sabotaged. And I'm going to play part of an interview that she did. The video is 12 minutes long, so I'm probably not going to go through all of it, but I am going to let you hear like at least the first parts of it so that you can get a good understanding of who Sha'Carri is, if you don't know who she is, and get a better understanding of what the issue is before I actually go into it. So let me go ahead and share the screen so that you can see this video. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and make it full so you guys can see it. All right, so let's see. Let's make this a full screen.
8:13 now with the stunning news tied to the Tokyo Olympics that we've been following all morning, Samara.
Yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson, the U.S. women's 100-meter champion who dominated at the Olympic trials, has tested positive for marijuana following that race. And this morning, that has put her Olympic future in doubt. Sha'Carri's going to be with us for an exclusive live interview just ahead. But first, more on Richardson's remarkable journey that's drawn her comparisons to the legendary FloJo and what could be a stunning disappointment for an athlete who's won the hearts of millions. With a blazing time and standout style, Sha'Carri Richardson recently punched her ticket to Tokyo. Richardson's going to Tokyo!
Unbelievable. The fact that I am an Olympian, no matter what is said or anything, I am an Olympian.
At the Olympic trials, the 21-year-old Dallas native won the 100-meter dash in a blazing 10.86 seconds, making her the fastest woman in America. But now it appears her Olympic dreams may have been put on hold. A U.S. Olympic source telling NBC News she failed a drug test after her finals win, testing positive for THC,
the chemical found in marijuana. According to her lawyers, Sha'Carri has been suspended from the Olympic team, and her failed test may cause her to lose her spot on Team USA entirely. Her Olympic trial results were automatically disqualified when she tested positive. That means she won't be allowed to compete in her signature event, the 100 meters. But there appears to be an outside chance she could compete in a different event. What's unclear is whether she will appeal the test results and the disqualification, or how long her suspension will last. NBC News has reached out to the USA Track and Field for official comment. Sha'Carri captured the hearts of millions when she ran into the stands after her victory and hugged her grandmother just a week after losing her biological mother.
My family has kept me grounded. This year has been crazy for me. Going from just last week, losing my biological mother, and I'm still here.
And after being notified of her failed drug test, Richardson tweeted yesterday, "I am human." Savannah. Chanel, thank you. And Sha'Carri Richardson joins us now. Good morning, Sha'Carri. I just want to ask a simple question first. How are you doing?
I'm blessed to be alive. That's about it.
This is not easy. This is a hard moment that you're in right now. And I thank you for being on. And I know you wanted to tell your story. So tell me, what happened? What led up to this positive test?
Just honestly, I want to take responsibility for my actions. I know what I did. I know what I'm supposed to do.
Now, I know that she just got on, but I want you in the chat and in the comment section, do you hear it? Do you hear it in the background? If you do, either put it in the chat or the comment section. What am I talking about? What do you hear in the background? Let's keep going. And I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm going to make a point about that later, but we're going to allow her to speak.
No, I'm allowed not to do, and I still made that decision, but not making an excuse or looking for any empathy in my case, but just, however, being in that position of my life, finding out something like that, something that I would say is probably one of the biggest things that have impacted me positively and negatively in my life when it comes to dealing with the relationship I have with my mother. So that definitely was a very heavy topic on me, and people don't understand what it's like to have to. People do. We all have our different struggles. We all have our different things we deal with. But to put on a face, to have to go in front of the world and put on a face and hide my pain. I don't know, who are you, or who am I to tell you how to cope when you're dealing with a pain, or you're dealing with a struggle that you've never experienced before, or that you've never thought you would have to deal with. Like, who am I to tell you how to cope? Who am I to tell you that you're wrong for hurting? So I think just honestly just leading up to that, dealing with my mental health, dealing with my mental as is with leading up to the games, every time stepping on the track, definitely expected to be a record-breaking time or something like that. So just with that, pressure in itself was also just another thing. With this actually been my first full professional career, my first full professional circuit this year due to the pandemic. So just considering all of that put together, a long time with my agent, my sponsors, my sponsorship, my family, knowing we did all of this stuff. So,
Sha'Carri, I just want people to understand where you're.
Now, just for a moment, the young lady, Sha'Carri, I say Sha'Carri, but Sha'Carri, obviously is a hyena. This is a young hyena cub. And again, I'm not saying this to be funny, because it's really not funny. Where she's coming from The thing you can hear in the background lets you know that there isn't any leadership. There isn't any system, order, and structure anywhere. This one was raised in the heart of the gynocracy. You can tell. You can just tell. She's only 21. She's got them spiders on her eyes. She got them wild color hair. You know it ain't no man around, father figure or otherwise. And if there were, he was probably a maggle. And she just happened to be talented athletically. But you could tell that she didn't have a good relationship with her mom. When we say in the hood, my biological mother, that means she didn't have nothing to do with our raising. She went and hugged her grandmother, which means that's who raised her. Her grandmama raised her. Who knows what kind of gynocrat her grandmama probably is. But when you say my biological mother, that means her grandmama is her mama in her eyes and in her heart. And her biological mother is just her birth giver that wasn't responsible enough to actually raise her. So she gave her to her she ended up with her grandmother, who actually gave her the mother figure in whatever way she did that. I'm going to allow her to speak a little bit more, and then we're really going to get into how the gynocracy has messed this girl up. So we go back to it.
Coming from, and tell me if this is correct, but it was a few days before your big race in the trials, you found out that your biological mother had passed away. You found out when a reporter told you, and it was after that you ingested some kind of marijuana. I should mention, you were in Oregon. It's legal in Oregon. You didn't violate any law, but it was against the rules of your sport, and as you said, you knew that. But is that what happened? Is that how this unfolded?
Honestly, yes, that is the story. I had an interview scheduled with my agent. I knew I was having an interview. I knew going to the interview. I was just thinking it would be a normal interview, and then on the interview to hear that information come from a complete stranger was definitely triggering. Was definitely nerve shocking, because it's just like, how are you to tell me that? Like, it's like, and no offense against him at all. It's just doing his job, but definitely that sent me in a state of mind, in a state of emotional panic, if anything. And still knowing that I still, even though I'm here, I still have to go out and put on a performance for my dream, go out there and still compete to what it is. So yes, definitely triggered, and from there just blinded by emotions, blinded by sadness, blinded by just hiding hurt, honestly. For the fact that I know I can't hide myself, so at least in some type of way, I was just trying to hide my pain.
Yeah. You're the Olympic official.
I'm going to pause it again, because I actually kind of feel sorry for this young lady, because she looked like the type that she's not going to escape the gynocracy until it's too late. I may or may not go back to that video. However, here's what I really want to say about this. This is why I titled it Sha'Carri Richardson and Self-Sabotage, because that is what the gynocracy has set this girl up to do. The gynocracy sets you up for failure at all levels and at all times. This girl is talented as an athlete. I have watched her races. It's not like I've been just keeping up with her whole career, but I kind of saw, because I'm a big fan when it's the Summer Olympics, I'm a big fan of the track and field and gymnastics. And for the Winter Olympics, I have to admit that I'm a fan of the figure skating. But so I like track and field whenever the Olympics come on, and sometimes the trials will be televised and things of that nature. And I'll watch it because I just like it. I just like watching that. And I watched her sports, and she is very exciting, okay, for like just a 100-meter dash or whatever. It goes by really quickly, but she's one to watch, you know. She's fast. She's really fast. Like, she blows by them. You know, you can tell she dedicates herself to the training, to actually being the best, because this wasn't a steroid drug test that came back. It was really just weed. So we know that she's not taking performance enhancement drugs at all. This is just her natural talent and her dedication to the training and the coaching and all of these sorts of things. But she's missing leadership and SOS, right? She's missing it. You can hear it in her voice. You can hear the background. You can hear how she's expressing herself. No one taught her how to express herself properly. And no one told her that she would self-sabotage, because the thing that she said in the beginning of the interview, she said, I knew what I was supposed to be doing, what I wasn't supposed to do, and I made a decision anyway. That's self-sabotage. Because yes, she's only 21. Yes, the Olympics come by every 4 years, but she don't know what condition she gonna be in 4 years. The time is now to reach your dreams, because this is what you're doing right now. You're winning right now. You're on the verge of making some history, because I don't think the American women's teams have brought home the gold since the 90s. So she would, if she had not been suspended from these games, who knows if they overturn it or anything like that. But as of right now, she's suspended from those games. She can't compete. She can't go to Tokyo. Okay? And to have the dream sabotaged now, that's problematic. Because when we come out of the maw, out of the pit of the gynocracy, this is what we do. We're self-saboteurs. We destroy what would be good for us, what would be positive for us. We don't learn better coping mechanisms. Nobody told her that's not how you're supposed to cope with your mother's death. Go to some counseling. Now, she didn't break the law or anything like that, because some states it's legal, some states it ain't, whatever. But what happened was, this wasn't about legal and illegal in terms of whether or not the state she was in allows you to smoke recreational marijuana. But we're talking about, let me not do anything that jeopardizes something that I've worked hard for. The other part of that is the gynocracy gives you these false hopes and a false sense of, well, I can do it later. And time is not passing. Well, I can do it later. There's no foresight there. There was no foresight. This is what lets you know that there is no strong male figure that's telling her, don't do this, do this. Don't go over there with them while you're competing for the Olympics, because you're going to get into some messing around with them. Okay? So you can't see. And you telling me not to see my friends? Yes, I'm telling you that while we are competing and until we go to Tokyo and come back with some gold medals, you can't hang out with them. Now, if you don't like it, I cannot be your coach, and you can figure out how you get to Tokyo from here. But if I'm going to be your coach and we're going to make it to Tokyo and get some gold medals and bring them back, you're going to have to not be messing with them over there, because you're going to get into some mess and you're going to ruin your chances from something that you have worked so hard to accomplish, and something that you set right up for success. We setting you right up for success. But she sabotaged it. And she knew she was sabotaging it. This young lady don't know what she's going to be doing in the next few years. This is the point that I'm making. This is how the gynocracy trick you into making these foolish mistakes. Oh, you got time, girl. Oh, you can do it later, girl. This is the same mindset that makes young women, young black women particularly, believe that I can get my first real relationship and marriage at 45 after ripping and running the streets and being for the streets. I can go and get a 6-figure, quote unquote, high value man now, and everything will be okay. No, that's actually not how it works at all. That's not how any of this works. But we grow up being self-saboteurs. Somebody have to come along and say, you know, you're sabotaging yourself, right? Before we say, oh, wait, I think I am. But in order for us to even see it that way, we have to be willing to see it that way. We have to be willing to change it. Right? We got to be willing to change it. We got to be willing to see how we're setting ourselves up. We had a straight shot for success, and then we turned around and messed it up and got right over into some failure because that's where we're comfortable. We're comfortable in these negative coping mechanisms that don't help us at all. This young lady has ruined her chances this year. And it's sad because she's talented. You should go watch some of her races. She be blowing them other women out of the water. But you can tell she's very masculine, especially when you see her on the track, how she celebrates the wins. It's real grr. It's real grr. Like it's manly. It's manly. It's masculine. And she too little and she kind of cute to be running around masculine like that. But that's what the gynocracy do to you. Make you masculine. It make you self-sabotage your any success that you might have. You don't look for better coping mechanisms to deal with things like grief and pain and hurt. You don't have no leadership and SOS nowhere because the gynocracy removes all the male authority from everywhere that it could be effective. Even if there was a man around that was telling her, don't do this and do that, she's probably hard-headed about it. I'm going to do it anyway. Because if you hard-headed about, well, I know that they might randomly drug test me, but I'm going to smoke this weed anyway, knowing that THC stay in your system a good 30 days or so. You know you weren't supposed to be smoking not one blunt, not one. You wasn't even supposed to be getting a contact because you don't want to jeopardize what you're doing and what you're working for. But these are the things that the gynocracy do. This is what it teaches. This is what it teaches young women, how to throw away any success that you might have early on in your life. Oh, you can go and get it later. Or you can do it later. Or you can figure it out later. No, you can't. You can't always come back and figure it out later. That's not always possible. Now, I'm hoping that she would be able 4 years from now to compete in the next Olympics. But you never know. Nobody thought that C-19 was going to hit and you not have it because I think they were supposed to have the Olympics last year and couldn't do it. So you never know how the environment may change. How you may change, your biology may change. You might even want to do it anymore. Or you might really, really want to do it and find physically that you can't. Now, the one time that you had in order to go get your dreams, you squandered that off of bad decision making. I'm telling you, young ladies, stop listening to the gynocracy. We got to cancel them. You got to stop listening to the gynocracy. They don't help you. They don't help you figure out your life. They help you ruin your life. They help you mess up your life. They help you bypass all of the good that you could be seeing and then wait till you way almost old to try to figure out what you can do. Nothing, because you don't wasted your time. And you don't wasted everybody else's time not living your life to your full real potential, trying to live up to these gynocratic standards that's really nothing. Boop, we canceled the gynocracy. Did we or did we not? This is what you can't allow. Not only Sha'Carri, you can't allow you. What's going on in your life? You wanted that marriage. You wanted those children. You wanted the happiness. But you couldn't get it. Because why? You sabotage yourself. Trying to live up to whatever gynocratic, you know what I'm saying, or just bad decisions and just low standards. For those of you that couldn't hear it, I'm pretty sure most of you did. I'll tell you what was going on in the background. Her smoke detector was going off. That means you in the hood or you hood minded. Whole thing probably couldn't even hear it herself. Everybody else could hear it. Go get you a 9-volt battery. They sell them at the Dollar Tree and put that in there. Smoke detector and stop it from doing that. Everybody thinks that that's low quality and low value because it mostly just happened in the hood. That's why they think that. And most of us that have lived in the hood have been guilty of having that squawking in the background at some point. That's how you know it ain't no leadership nowhere. Nobody know where to say, hey, get that. It's not cute. Get it. Did a whole national interview with that thing squawking in the background. It's deplorable, actually. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. So, sound off in the comment section. What do you think about this story? Is this, first of all, what do you think about the story? She tests positive. And I'm going to say this before I sign off. I think this country is really petty when it comes to marijuana because it's either legal or it's not. Okay? Now, on the one hand, you know the rules and the rules are the rules, right? You're not supposed to test positive for any of the forbidden substances that they have on a list. And they let you know that before competition, before you start entering the trials and things of that nature. So you know what you're getting into. So you know you're not supposed to smoke weed, even if it is legal where you are. But I also kind of think it's a little petty in this country. It should just be legal everywhere. Well, it's legal over here, not legal over there. It's either a narcotic or it's not. And knowing that THC stay in your system that long, she could have smoked 2 weeks ago and you still see it. Doesn't mean she's showing up to meets high. Just like alcohol is legal. And if I drink something on the weekend, that doesn't mean I'm showing up to work Monday morning drunk. However, she knew what she was doing. Sometimes these organizations, especially athletic organizations, they don't tolerate that at any time. And that's really the sad part about the self-saboteur, because she knew she was sabotaging herself. She couldn't see the success, and she probably would never think of it like that. But subconsciously, that's what she did. She saw success and had never probably been truly successful at anything. And she couldn't do it. It's like, I got to do something to mess this up. I got to take a risk that is unnecessary and I might get caught. And she did. And now she's going to have to pay for it by not competing for something that I know she want to compete for. You don't do all of that work to not really want to compete. So sound off in the comment section. What do you think? Does the gynocracy teach you how to self-sabotage? You know, I know some of us have been guilty of sabotaging ourselves in some type of way. So if you feel like you want to share that in the comment section. At what point in your life or what thing did you sabotage? And say, dang, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? You have to look back on it and say, man, I really should not have done those things. I really ruined my chances at X, Y, and Z. So like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.